Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So I'm so excited to do today's video because I am doing another episode for my Saying I Do series. So I haven't done one of these in quite a while because I just kind of wanted to wait to when it was like more timely in my life. But now Jacob and I are down to I think it's 8 months until we get married, so now we are doing so much to prepare for our wedding, so I have a lot to share with you guys. So if you don't know what the Saying I Do series is on my channel, it is pretty much going to be anything wedding related with Jacob's and I's wedding. So I'm going to show you guys like tips and tricks on how to plan your wedding, things to look out for, gift ideas, wedding dress shopping things, all of that stuff. So today's video in particular is going to be tips and tricks on your wedding venue. So Jacob and I have had a very long experience with our wedding venue searching, and so I have picked up a few things along the way that I think will be helpful for you guys. So Jacob and I have been engaged now for almost 2 years. It will be like 2 years and 2 months. And when we first got engaged, we were 18, and we just didn't know a lot. We did not know a lot about weddings. We had barely been to that many, and just weddings weren't like such a huge thing that like we grew up with, so we had a lot to learn from. So we first had a wedding venue, booked, planned, everything. That was about 40 minutes from our house, super pretty, loved the owners of the venue, everything was great. But the only downside to it is that you had to bring in everything. You had to bring in plates and cups, napkins, food, every vendor you had to bring in. All you were able to do was rent the venue itself. So after being with them, we had the venue booked for like 9 months maybe. We decided that it just wasn't gonna work out for us because we just totally changed like our theme and idea of our wedding. It was not, just wasn't going with our theme anymore. So we decided to break the contract with them and we booked with a different venue. So from that experience, we learned a lot, and with that is going to be my first tip and trick for your wedding venue searching would be to decide if you want to do an all-inclusive or an each vendor type of venue. So Jacob's and I's venue now is an all-inclusive, which means we booked with one venue, and within our price package for that venue, we get things like our photographer, all of our food, our cake, of course like all of our tables and chairs and linens, our DJ, and I'm probably missing a few things, our flowers. So with one like bundled package, we were able to get a ton of things for one price. So the positive thing about doing an all-inclusive means that usually you will get them for a more affordable or cheaper price than you would be if you were to book each individual vendor. Because the caterer, the flower woman, all of these people have a wedding with our venue almost every single weekend, they're able to give them a deal and a discount, which then is a benefit for us. So Jacob's and I's first venue was not an all-inclusive, so I was thinking that it would be cheaper to do it that way, that we could go pick out each individual vendor that we wanted and pay them separately. But for Jacob and I, everybody's different, but for us, it's just more stressful and more of a hassle for us because it was more expensive to pick each individual vendor, harder because you had to go out and search for them, and you're more stressed on your wedding day because you're having to figure out like, okay, is the caterer here? Is the flower girl here? Is the DJ here? Like, you're trying to keep track of everybody, where in an all-inclusive, they've worked with these people almost every single weekend, and they can count on them. That's why they have a deal with them, and you don't have to worry about it. They show up, they get their stuff done. It's kind of a routine for them, where other places, they might be like, oh, where do you want us to set up? Where can we plug into? Tons of other things like that. So that was my first tip and trick. Decide if you want to have an all-inclusive or a not all-inclusive. My second one is to ask if there's any time requirements. So these are all things that you just want to like look at and decide before you even go like further with a venue. These are really simple questions, but like when you go to check out a venue or you're looking online, you just aren't really thinking of them at the time, but these are really important questions to ask right off the bat is if they have a time requirement. What time do you have to be out by? Our venue is somewhat close to some houses, so it's kind of like a residential area. So we have to be out by 10 o'clock because our venue is outside. If it was inside, we could leave at 11. But if you're around certain places, there is a time requirement, so definitely ask that. If you're wanting like a super late wedding, you might have that issue. A second question is, what time can we show up? Our venue has weddings in the morning, midday, afternoon, night, so we have a time requirement. We are not allowed to show up to the venue until I think 2 o'clock, where some people have you come in at 8 o'clock. Or a perfect question to also ask is if you're allowed to come the day before to set things up or drop things off. Our venue, we're not able to do that because there could be a wedding the night before ours, but if you can find a venue that lets you drop off or set up the day before, that is like amazing. Kind of hard to find, but really awesome if you can. Another question is if you're able to use the venue for your rehearsal, what day and what time can you do them? We don't know yet if we can go to our rehearsal at our venue the day before because there could be a wedding there. It's okay if we can't because we can book it for any time that week that there is a free wedding or a free spot with no wedding there. But if you want to go the day before, that's something that you definitely need to ask because there could be a wedding and they won't block out that time for you. Another question is if they have a wedding coordinator / planner with their venue. Our venue has a wedding coordinator scheduled for our day of our wedding. So we don't have an actual wedding planner, that's pretty much me, but they have a wedding coordinator, so that on the day of the wedding they'll assign someone to me where I can like tell her this time this needs to be put out, at this time the candles need to be lit, this needs to be done, like somebody who I can just kind of have as like a second hand throughout my whole day. So that is like a huge, awesome highlight for our venue that I was really stoked about. Another question to ask is if they have price differences for your days. Usually online, if you're looking at a venue, they will have your price packages up there, and definitely check out your days. Jacob and I are getting married on a Friday because it was a whole lot cheaper than a Saturday, and we didn't really mind getting married on a Friday or a Saturday, but we got like a huge discount by having our wedding on a Friday than a Saturday, and then if you got married on an actual weekday, it is like way cheaper. So definitely look into that. Another question to ask is if you're getting married outside, see if they have some type of inside option or awnings or anything that they can do in case it does rain. Jacob and I's ceremony and reception will be outside, but they do have a building and inside option that we can go into if it starts to rain. And hopefully it won't, but definitely a question to ask. Another question is to see if they have any discounts for hotels that are surrounding their venue. If you have a lot of family coming in from out of state or out of the country, usually the venues will have some type of partnership with the hotels surrounding them to get some type of discount for your guests that are coming in. Definitely check with them, and even if they don't have a partnership with a hotel, ask a hotel, say, hey, if we have all of our wedding guests stay here, what kind of discount could you give them? And most of the time they will always give you one. So definitely check into that. I kind of mentioned this earlier. If you are doing a not all-inclusive or an all-inclusive, but usually they'll have it for an all-inclusive, you want to make sure like what you're getting in your deal. So if you're renting the venue, what do you get with that? Do you get your chairs, your tables, your linens, dishware, forks, knives, napkins, all of those things? Might sound silly, but like our first venue that we booked with did not have any of that. So we were gonna have to individually rent out our chairs and rent out our dishware and our plates, all of that. We were gonna have to rent out from a company. And most importantly is to make sure that the venue matches your theme and your personality and what you're envisioning on your wedding day. So like I said, Jacob's and I's first venue that we booked at the time was exactly what we wanted. We loved it. We thought it was so beautiful. But with having a long engagement and growing up and getting different ideas and thoughts and everything over time, like it just wasn't fitting what we wanted anymore. So we had to change our venue. So just really think about like your wedding day. And I think that's what's really helped me with all of this, trying to pick the venue and the table settings and all of that, is I just try to like close my eyes and picture myself like at our reception, looking around at the tables, like what do I see? When I come out to walk down the aisle, what do I see? And just really, really envisioning it. And if you're envisioning it and you're like, oh, I don't really like that, then you know right away, like, okay, I know I don't want this, or I know I do want this. So really just try to think of your theme. I don't know, I guess I could. So I'll insert here what Jacob's and I's venue looks like, kind of. I think I'll probably just insert some pictures here from some photographers I've seen that have shot there before. It is just extremely green and big green trees, green grass, cobblestone dancing area. It's gonna be all outside. The like tea party lights, things like that. And then another thing, I might have this in a different video, but I'll just show you really quick, is I made a, I don't know what you'd call this, like a little collage of what our theme is. So I put our colors on there and then picked some pictures off of Pinterest that I like really honed in on things that we liked and the look we were going for. And I made a little collage so I was able to, you know, show my bridesmaids this, our parents this, like this is the theme we're going for, this is the look. And it really helped because it gives it kind of a clear vision. It's kind of like an inspiration board for a wedding of what we like. So that is pretty much, I think, all that I have for you today. I'm going to type all my questions up and I'll leave them down in the description box below so that they're easy for you to copy and paste into an email for a venue if you would like. And if I think of some more, I will add those in there. But yeah, I would just definitely make sure that you think of a ton of questions before you go talk to somebody at a venue or email someone at a venue, because you'll get there and you'll be so excited and you'll be looking around and thinking about things and you totally forget like really simple questions like what time can we show up? Like you forget those things. So it's important to have everything written down and think about it like the week leading up to it. Every day just think of questions, and then when you go you can just list all your questions off and then you make sure you don't forget anything. So I feel like I was talking super fast in this video, maybe because I was like so excited to record. I'm not really sure, but I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will be doing a ton more of saying I do videos coming up. I'm going to break down pretty much our entire wedding for you, so hopefully it can be helpful because like I said, I haven't been to a ton of weddings, neither has Jacob, so this is like a whole new process for us. And so I hope I can break down each step and give you guys tips and tricks and kind of show you different things. So when it comes to planning your wedding, or maybe you're helping planning your sister's wedding or helping your best friend's wedding, you can kind of get an idea of like, okay, I remember this, or I think we should do this because, you know, this is what Carly did and it helped her. So I just want to help you guys plan your weddings, whether it's now or in the future. So I hope these videos are helpful, and I think that's all I have to say for today. So give this video a thumbs up if you love weddings, especially if you're excited to see more wedding videos. And please leave any please leave any video ideas that you have down below in the description box, whether they are for wedding videos or not, or any questions that you have about Jacob's and I's wedding, anything like that, please leave those below. And until next time, I will see you later. Bye guys.
Oh, won't you